Good evening, everyone. Late Night Mega here, and tonight we're playing a game that I've been excited about for quite a while. It's Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age. Oh my gosh, slimes are so cute. So put on your PJs and prepare for some cliches. And we're gonna prepare to watch a fairly lengthy opening sequence. This will take a couple minutes. Right off the bat, I love the music in this game. I mean, it sounds like the classic Dragon Quest music, but just so polished and so, up-to-date, modern. I mean, what's not to like about it? So yeah, Dragon Quest series. I saw a trailer for this game a while ago, and it got me really hyped for the game. And I don't want to spoil too much of that yet. So Dragon Quest series for me, it hasn't been something that none of the games in the Dragon Quest series, minus a couple of them, are games that I have really played over and over and over and over again, like say Final Fantasy IV. I always found them to be average or above average RPGs. They're turn-based. Dragon Quest series, they largely feel, a lot of the elements feel largely the same throughout the series. And so, when it comes to, say, ranking the Dragon Quest series, because I know I've ranked the Final Fantasy games that I've played on this channel, but ranking the Dragon Quest series for me, there's not a ton of difference between the worst and the best. Because all of them are very similar, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. I do think the Dragon Quest series as a whole are fairly well-balanced RPGs. They come off as very light-hearted, very kind of, I don't want to say cartoony, because that almost sounds like an insult, but more of a laid-back sort of feeling with the graphics and all that. It's more humble and upbeat. Even when we hear music, oh gosh, they're gonna let me name characters. I did consider naming my character Dotard here, because that's kind of one of the standby names for characters when they let me do something like this. But I didn't want to call this guy Dotard, because this is going to be... I'm pretty sure this is a very long game. I don't know exactly how long, but I just have the feeling that it's massive. So I'm actually going to name this guy Jace. Jace being a reference to a Magic the Gathering Planeswalker, Jace Beleren. And it's not the most appropriate reference. Thinking back on it, if I could go back and do it again, I'd probably call him 17 or Android 17. Because our main character actually looks a lot like Android 17 from the Dragon Ball Z series. And that's actually a more appropriate reference than you might initially expect, because the artist behind the Dragon Ball Z characters, Akira Toriyama, is also the artist behind the Dragon Quest characters. So, yeah, how about that? I'm not sure what that thing is. It's like a little ghosty thing that apparently... Well, it's visible to us. I'd imagine if people are looking at the thing, they might see it. I don't know. Oh, that's creepy. Yeah, one thing about the Dragon Quest series, even when it has, menacing music or themes or something going on, there's still, a lightheartedness within the tunes. You'll see what I mean here. Yeah, so a sudden rainstorm. We have, obviously, some sort of meeting between, I'm gonna guess, various kings.
This child, he is the one. There's the mark. There's no mistaking it.
Child with a special mark. Well, if you're familiar with other Dragon Quest games, basically what happens is a special child is born, in this case this child, and the child is like the one who is destined to stop whatever great evil force is currently plaguing the world. It's usually some sort of big demon or Draco Lord or something like that. And from what I can tell, that's the basic plot of what's going on here. The details, there'll be many more details with Dragon Quest XI than, say, I don't know, Dragon Quest 2 or 3 or something. But yeah, see the mess of music here, but yet it still has like a little bit of an upbeat, lighthearted feeling to it. Where, okay, yeah, this is all bad, this is a terrible situation, but we're still smiling, we're still happy, you know? That's the impression I get from the Dragon Quest music. I like it. I wouldn't like this sort of thing in all RPGs, but, for this franchise, it's worked. Well, that was bad. I wonder how much time passed between the end of that storm. If it's like the next day or several hours later or what. So somehow the evil demon thingy on the horse, who was clearly probably trying to kill this child, failed to kill this child. I don't know how he managed that.
You're a jolly one. What's this?
But it is what it is.
You poor thing. Come here. Come here. Oh, there's no need to be frightened anymore.
And that guy, we're gonna call him Grandpa Gohan. Again, it very appropriate reference. Except for the fact, his name isn't actually Gohan in this game. But it should be. Several years later, actually it's going to be about 15, 16 years later, because we're going to reach this kid's 16th birthday. That is a giant floating tree in the sky. We're probably going to have to go there at some point. Just a hunch. I see that picture of the giant floating tree, and I think of Yggdrasil from the Etrian Odyssey series. Just this giant labyrinth that you have to ascend.
Just before the big ceremony.
What would you do without me?
So it's finally here, the big day. I can't believe we're going to be climbing all the way up there.
The Dragon Quest series also likes to introduce different accents for people in different areas.
Looks like Sandy's keen to lead the way.
We notice this a lot
Best
in
not keep her waiting.
the DS games, especially with like Dragon Quest 4 and 5 and such. Just the text, even though it's not voice acted, just the text of that, you can tell that they're intending all these different accents. Sometimes it gets a little bit obnoxious to try and read. Dragon Quest games, I say a lot of the themes of the games, there's a lot of the things about the battles and such stay largely the same, and major innovations in the Dragon Quest series tend to be like small innovations in any other franchise. So like our major innovation here with Dragon Quest XI, I'm sure there's other things, but major innovation as far as exploring goes is we can now jump. Yeah, you saw me jumping there. We can jump. That is new to the Dragon Quest series. A 11 games into the main series, and we can finally jump. That will help us explore around and such. Then again, even in some games like Final Fantasy XII, you couldn't jump in Final Fantasy XII. You just run around, so... Okay. But yeah, like, give you guys an example. The major innovations from Dragon Quest I to Dragon Quest II were having multiple party members, because you only had one in the first Dragon Quest game, and then you can have up to 3 in Dragon Quest II. And enemies can attack you in groups at a time instead of just one-on-one battles. And that was like the major innovation of that game. And then one of the games, the major innovation was like being able to search in certain dressers and such to find items, or search in certain pouches that are hanging on walls to find items. I think that was an innovation in the 7th game. I haven't really played the 7th game. I have it. I actually bought it off of eBay. The one for PS1. I do intend to play that at some point. That's going to be another doozy of an adventure. I've heard that game is like over 100 hours. This game might be as well, so who knows. So yeah, I'm not going to play them like back to back or anything.
Humble
But
folk of cobblestone, great land spirits, hearth and home. That's how it goes, isn't it?
yeah, sure, why not? But if you are looking for other
My
RPG
granddad's been
content, we
teaching
do
me the
have
prayer
other
ever since I was
RPG
little.
content. Like
He
I
reckons
mentioned
the
Final
spirit of
Fantasy
the
XII.
land
We
really
did
does
play
live on
the
Cobblestone
Zodiac
Tor, you
Age on
see.
this channel.
As
That was a
long
fun
as I
Let's
can
Play.
remember, he's been preparing me for this day. The day
Yeah, I'm
it will
talking over
finally be my
Gemma
turn
here.
to climb all the way up there and offer my thanks. I just wonder whose idea it was in the first place, sending the village's young folk on such a dangerous errand. What if I take a tumble and do myself a mischief?
Do myself a mischief?
Well, not to worry. Since you and me were born on the same day, I'm lucky enough to have a bodyguard along for the journey. Come on then. That craggy old thing won't climb its... Oh.
Our dog is barking. Monsters! They're so happy and cute.
Monsters! They're coming this way.
Well, we have a sword. So yeah, we just kind of get thrown into a battle here with the basic slimes. This is like the most basic enemy in the Dragon Quest series. And in every Dragon Quest game, you know, they give 1 experience and 2 gold each. Although in this game, you're going to see that they actually changed that. And that really surprised me. They now give 2 experience and 2 gold each. We can kind of run around and stuff. Like, this battle system kind of reminds me of Final Fantasy XII, but I don't think the running around actually matters. And so I'm actually going to... We'll change the settings in a moment here. We're going to go to the classic view battle style, because honestly, I didn't care too much for the Final Fantasy XII battle style. It was serviceable, but...
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, we're going to go like very
I know
classic
they were only
turn-based
little, but
here.
I'd have been done for if you and Sandy hadn't been here to help me. And now we've got to go through that horrible dingy cave. Just our luck.
The dingy cave.
I'll bet you anything that's where those awful things came from. Well, as long as you're with me, I've got nothing to worry about. Come on, let's get going.
Sure, let's do that. I wonder if we get to turn Super Saiyan in this game. That'd be cool. So yeah, we're gonna go into our, I think it'd be system settings. And yeah, battle mode. So yeah, this lets you like control the camera and run around and stuff. I don't think there's a real effect to that, so yeah, we're gonna go to classic camera. Because that'll be fine for me. Oh, and there's that saying that Gemma just had. And if we go over here, there's a treasure. So one thing about this, you'll notice... Ooh, a pot lid. We can use that as a shield, oddly enough. It'll give us a couple points of defense, which is better than... yeah, better than nothing. Do pardon me if I can't... Oh, one other thing I should probably mention is that this is post-commentary, Late Night Mega here. Because this is on the PS4, with my equipment set up, I can't do live commentary, not in any sort of means that would be serviceable for this video. So yeah, I am actually watching the gameplay that I previously recorded and commentating on it. So if I don't always get to like read the text or see all the numbers in that, it's because the video that's playing in my editor as I'm, you know, doing this commentary is I can't see as big of a video. It's just how it is. So if we go over here, yeah, there's a thing we can interact with, and that interaction lets us climb up. Another new Dragon Quest XI innovation. Actually, I don't know if that's new to this game, but I think it is. I could be wrong, though. I haven't played... Which games haven't I played in the series? I haven't played 10. I think that's an MMO, though, so that doesn't really count. I haven't played 7. I've played some of 8. I haven't finished 8. Oh, and we get preemptive attacks. So basically what you do is you go up near a monster and you press the X button and you slash them with your sword before you actually get to fight, and that will actually affect their HP in battle. I must say, I really like this battle music here, and we don't actually have traditional random encounters. I think that was done away with in 7? I know the DS remake of 7 does away with it. Maybe they do have that. Like I said, I haven't played the PS1 version of Dragon Quest 7. It was still called Dragon Warrior 7 back then. Dragon Quest is the official name of the series. Due to some licensing issues or copyright issues. Oh, that was very nice, Gemma. Thank you. It's almost like they don't want us to lose in this intro dungeon. And we have a dog.
Aren't they?
Yes, they are, Gemma. Yes, they are. Well, yeah, we're gonna do all these battles. I was talking about like 3 things at once, and now I just totally lost my train of thought. That's my problem with post-commentary, is I'll talk about all these different things, and something will happen, and I'll talk about that, and then...
I'm so proud
oh, we gotta level up. We learned a new spell. So there's our stat boosts, and our spell is Frizz. Yeah, Jace is not really an appropriate reference, if I'm referencing the Magic the Gathering Planeswalker here. Yeah, that's why I went with Jace. I like the name Jace and reference to the Planeswalker. But Jace, in the Magic the Gathering universe, he does not use fire spells like Frizz. He doesn't use swords either, so yeah, that's... But I like the name, so that's what we're going with. They did a very good job with the accent here and the dialect of at least Gemma. I don't know. I've only done gameplay for the first few parts, so the way I do it for do my recordings for PlayStation 4 games is first I tried like recording all of the gameplay of Final, and I did this of Final Fantasy 12, all of the main story gameplay, before doing any post-commentary. And then I went all the way back to part 1, and I'm like, okay, let's do post-commentary. And I had, like, all these notes. I'm a terrible note-taker. So for some parts, I'd only have, like, 1 or 2 lines of notes of things I wanted to mention. let's just say it didn't turn out as well as I would have liked it to. So what I do now with my PS4 recordings is that I'll record a few episodes of gameplay, and then I'll go back and record the commentary on some of those episodes before recording more. So I might do commentary for like parts 1 and 2 before recording the gameplay for parts, say, 5 through 7. Just so I keep the gameplay and the commentary kind of close together, and that way I don't forget to mention stuff that I might want to mention that I had thought of here. We can break these jars, and sometimes we find stuff. I can't break them while I'm standing on them, apparently. And we can briefly run in the water, but we can't swim in the water. That innovation has not happened yet. Maybe that'll be the next big innovation in Dragon Quest XII or something, who knows. And another sparkle item on the ground, it's copper ore. I don't know what all these are used for. These needle guys, these things look creepy. Do they not? I know I mentioned this earlier, but I do really like the random battle music. Yeah, they're not random battles. That's what I was talking about earlier. Yeah, we now just encounter enemies on the map that are just wandering around. I know that happened in Dragon Quest VIII. That might be the first place where it officially started, but the 3DS remake of Dragon Quest VII did that too. And of course the 3DS port of Dragon Quest VIII and that. But yeah, I don't have the capabilities of recording 3DS games right now, so when I do Dragon Quest VII, it'll be the PS1 version is what I'm planning on.
Cool. Look at all this fog. Is this normal, do you think?
I'm gonna go with no.
Help! Help me! What? Cole?
Oh no, not Cole. Who's Cole?
Quick! You have to help him!
Of course I do. Who else is going to? Uh-oh.
It's not fog at all. It's more monsters.
Monsters. I guess this is what's going to qualify as our intro boss. Although we don't have boss music, so I'm sure these will be normal enemies later. Does our dog have, like, infinite health in here? I'm sure they do. Let's cast our first spell. Pretty neat. That's why I went for the spell, because these fog monsters, or smog monsters, whatever they're called. Smog. Yeah, smog monsters. They have a bit higher of an evasion chance for physical evasion. It makes sense, because, you know, it's a blob of smoke, so we'll use our spells here. Although, as you can see, it's not impossible to hit them with physical attacks. Not sure how that even works. Well, I guess it's a monster, so it has some material. Oops. I did not mean to press that button.
Well done.
That was an accident. I do have the Mega Man theme on my PS4. That's what that was.
Gemma. I only
For
came
those
up
who
here
are
because I
wondering.
thought it'd be funny to jump out and surprise you. But then those monsters appeared.
Could you have a lamer haircut in this day and
What
age?
in the world is going on? I never heard anything about monsters appearing on the tour before. But never mind that now. Whatever were you thinking? You could have been killed. You take Sandy and get back to the village this instant.
Yes, Gemma. Sorry, Gemma.
You saved my bacon again.
Okay,
I
that
knew
was
you were tough, but crikey,
so Cole is basically
you really
like
have grown into
6-year-old
quite the
Gohan.
hero.
Gohan being Goku's son, not the Grandpa Gohan I was referencing earlier.
Not far to the top now.
Those are different people. And now it's raining.
It would have to go and start raining, wouldn't it? Come on, let's get a move on.
Oh, and as usual for my RPG Let's Plays, I'm going to aim for 25 to 30-minute episodes. Sometimes, based on, when I happen to trigger cutscenes or boss battles, they might go a little bit over or under, though I won't... I'll make an effort not to cut out, like, mid-boss battle. I cut out right before the boss battle and leave that as a cliffhanger. But, oh, we have a narrow ledge here. We just walk towards it, and there we go. Now, this sort of thing feels kind of pointless, in my opinion. Like, why do we need to do this? This is not a platforming game. This isn't like a Zelda game where we're going to take damage if we fall or something. In fact, I don't even think there's a way you can fall off of that ledge that you're shimmying across or whatever. So it just seems kind of... Why do we have this, It doesn't really feel like it fits well in this Dragon Quest template. For a Zelda game, yeah, it fits. Because it's an action-adventure game, and you can actually fall off and get hurt and stuff. And here's this kind of like, okay, well, let's inch our way across here just because.
Here we are at last!
Oh, hooray.
It's such a shame about the weather. I was really looking forward to that view.
Yeah, I'm sure it would be a nice view off of the
pair and get this
top of
ceremony
this
over with,
place.
eh? What was that?
That is the end of the video.